All right, Mr. Byrd.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. I'm Roy Byrd. I'm the chair of the Coalition for Livable Alexandria and a resident of Alexandria. Unfortunately, 3 minutes is insufficient to address all of our concerns, so we've submitted extended commentary for the record. CLA is asking council to delay the vote and decouple the legislative bundle in response to unanswered resident concerns. I want you to decouple the legislative bundle and enable council members to offer amendments without the necessity of voting the entire legislation down in order to do so. Direct staff to assess the effectiveness of your engagement process, specifically resident participation rates throughout the city, including a demographic analysis incorporating a breakdown by zoning and housing type. Additionally, staff should be tasked with providing metrics, specifically measures of effectiveness for each proposal, by first asking what is the problem the initiative is trying to solve, and then what are the measures to see if it in fact does solve those issues. Unfortunately, in response to residents' concerns, members of council have telegraphed that they have already made up their minds and will vote for the proposal. This calls into question why, other than to check a necessary block, you're even having these public hearings. We have listened to proponents, often aligned with special interest groups, disparate civic associations, and residents expressing a different view with no admonition from this dais. I am not asking you to do my bidding. I am asking you to listen and represent the will of the people you are here to represent. I also know some of you are not interested in opinions that counter your own unless they are data-based. So this afternoon, the Coalition for Livable Alexandria will be releasing a press release, releasing the results of a scientific survey of Alexandria residents. This poll was aimed at gauging public opinion on impacts of zoning for housing in the proposal. CLA commissioned Bellwether Research, a national public opinion research firm based in Alexandria, to carry out this important work. The results couldn't be more clear. What the mayor and members of council are pushing with this legislation is not what most residents want. I would also ask that as you're trying to correct misstatements and so forth, that you also put on your webpage the following: the Alexandria Department of Planning and Zoning's Alexandria 2020-2050 preliminary forecast, projecting the population to grow by 65%. From 158,000 in 2020 to 260,000 in 2050, which I think gets you pretty close to 80,000. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Byrd. Next speaker is Solomon Ayelu,
Mr. Mayor.
Followed by Darlene Branges, followed by Marcia Trick, followed by Michael Lesh, Janine McComb, Elizabeth Hyder, Steve Malone, Kathleen Horn. Was that Councilman Chapman?
No,
Councilman Aguirre.
I have a question for Mr. Byrd.
Mr. Byrd, Mr. Aguirre has a question for you. He's coming back up. Councilman Aguirre, go for it.
So special interest has been referred to multiple times, both today and on Tuesday. So, Mr. Byrd, I just wanted to ask you, what special interest are you speaking of?
I'll answer it this way. Why is it that citizens who are here to make their comments are questioned and other citizens make comments and they're not questioned? So this was my time to make my comments and not to go through, you know, the inquisition here. I'm happy to discuss anything you want with you at another time, but not here. Thank you.
All right.
So you don't know that there's a special interest group.
We're not doing the clapping thing. Councilman Aguirre.
I'm done. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Aguirre.